feel so bad, I got a worried mind. I'm so lonesome all the time.
Today we are going to talk about the extraordinary journey of one of gospel music's most powerful voices, Linda Randle. A woman whose rich, soulful performances have touched countless hearts worldwide is now facing her greatest challenge yet. From humble beginnings in the tough neighborhoods of Washington, D.C. to standing ovation-worthy performances with the legendary Gaither vocal band, Linda Randle's story is one that defies expectations at every turn. "It's just a God thing," Linda once said. "It's something that I never dreamed of for myself. You couldn't have paid me any amount of money to believe that this would happen one day." But what happens when the voice that lifts others begins to falter? What happens when the woman known for her unwavering strength must confront her own vulnerability? Born on February 7th, 1962 in Washington, D.C., Linda grew up in an environment where faith wasn't just a Sunday service. It was the lifeline that held her family together. Her father, once described by Linda herself as a gangster, a gambler, a racketeer, experienced a miraculous transformation after hearing a salvation message on a Maryland highway. "My father had a temper, but my dad was the most patient, understanding, loving man," Linda recalls, emotion catching in her throat. "I can't even describe the relationship that I had with my father." That transformation created the foundation for Linda's unshakable faith, a faith she would need when facing her own trials years later. The girl from the inner city who once innocently prayed, "Lord, make me the world's greatest gospel singer," found herself thrust into the spotlight after joining Bill and Gloria Gaither's Homecoming series in the early 1990s. "I remember getting up in concerts and asking the audience, 'Would you pray for me? One day I want to be the world's greatest gospel singer,'" Linda shares with a laugh. "I remember one night when I went to pray in my dorm room, and the Lord sweetly spoke to my spirit. He said, 'It's not as important that you be the greatest gospel singer as it is that you have my anointing upon your life.'" That divine guidance would shape her approach to music forever. For over 13 years, Linda traveled with the Gaither vocal band, her chocolate-rich voice giving new life to spiritual classics like "His Eye is on the Sparrow." Her performances weren't just displays of vocal prowess. They were testimonies of faith that connected with audiences across racial, cultural, and denominational lines. "Homecoming for us is just a celebration," Linda once explained. "When you're singing songs like 'His Eye is on the Sparrow' or 'What a Friend We Have in Jesus,' people recognize them instantly. It goes right to the heart of the matter." But as Linda stood on stages around the world, a storm was brewing beneath the surface. What many fans didn't see was the private battle Linda was fighting. Behind the powerful performances and radiant smiles, her health was beginning to deteriorate in ways that threatened not just her career, but her very way of life. "We all go through things in life, but they serve a purpose," Linda reflected during this difficult period. "I know that I've grown through so many, and God has promised that He would never leave us or forsake us. He's with us, like a mom would cradle her babe, or a dad would cradle his child during a tough storm. God cradles us till the storm passes by." The changes were subtle at first. A struggle to hit certain notes, unexplained fatigue, moments of weakness that she carefully hid from public view. Doctors struggled to pinpoint the exact cause, leaving Linda in a frightening limbo of uncertainty. For a vocalist whose gift was her voice, these symptoms weren't just concerning, they were devastating. Whispers and rumors began to circulate. Some speculated about substance abuse, rumors that were particularly painful for a woman who had dedicated her life to ministry. Others wondered if she was suffering from a hidden personal tragedy. The speculation only added to Linda's burden as she sought answers. Through it all, her anchor remained the same: faith and family. Michael Randle, her husband and a pastor himself, stood firmly by her side. Their daughters, aptly named Patience and Joy, became sources of strength as their mother navigated these uncharted waters. "My family has always been my rock," Linda has shared. "When everything else feels uncertain, their love reminds me of what truly matters." But Linda's journey through health challenges reveals something remarkable about the human spirit. Specifically, the spirit of someone who has built their life on faith. What makes Linda Randle's story so compelling isn't just her musical talent or her rise from difficult circumstances. It's her profound resilience in the face of adversity. Long before health issues threatened her career, Linda had overcome personal traumas that she kept private for years. It wasn't until she was 26, preparing for her wedding, that she finally opened up about painful experiences from her past. "I realized the doctor was a Christian who attended our church," she recalls of that breakthrough moment. "It just blew me away because all this time I had suppressed things. People don't want to talk about it, so I never talked about it." That experience taught her something crucial about healing, that vulnerability isn't weakness. It's often the first step toward wholeness. "While I may have been a victim for a while, I'm a victor now," Linda declares. "I walk in complete victory, healed, whole, all of the above. And now I can meet people, talk with them, and God gives me the ability to connect. I can see where they are because of what I've gone through." This perspective has become Linda's greatest gift to her fans as she navigates her current health challenges. In a world that demands perfection, especially from public figures, Linda Randle has chosen authenticity, showing strength not by hiding weakness, but by facing it with dignity and faith. "It doesn't matter what God wants to do with my voice or with me as a person," she says, "but when I sing, I don't want to be just another singer." And she never has been. Today, speculation swirls about Linda's return, but her true legacy transcends the stage. The D.C. girl who dreamed of musical greatness became something more profound, a beacon of authentic faith amid life's storms. What happened to Linda Randle? She faced her ultimate test and emerged not as a flawless icon, but as a powerful witness to the resilient human spirit. That, dear friends, is a song worth singing.
Praying for you. Yep. I go in tomorrow. My cancer is not bone related, it's blood related.
Mark Hoppus has shared a story that left fans speechless. The Blink-182 bassist and co-frontman revealed the painful truth behind his battle with cancer. What he called the darkest time of his life is now coming to light. In June 2021, Hoppus shocked fans with his diagnosis, announcing it on social media. He opened up about the emotional and physical toll it took. As the only member who's been there through every version of the band, his strength has inspired many. "I didn't know if I was going to live or die," Hoppus confessed in a recent interview, providing a raw glimpse into the fear and uncertainty that consumed him during those initial months. The bassist revealed that he had been diagnosed with diffuse large B-cell lymphoma, stage 4A, an advanced form of cancer that had already spread to multiple parts of his body by the time it was discovered. What made the diagnosis particularly chilling was that it was the same type of cancer his mother had previously battled and defeated. As Hoppus underwent what he described as grueling rounds of chemotherapy, he kept fans updated on his progress through social media. In July 2021, he offered a glimmer of hope, sharing that the treatment appeared to be working. "I'm so grateful and confused and also sick from last week's chemo," he wrote. "But the poison the doctors pump into me and the kind thoughts and wishes of people around me are destroying this cancer."
I barely remember the next 24 hours from the moment that I got the call. I was walking into my therapist for the first time. I was in a dark place. We were coming out of COVID. The world was weird. Like everything was polarized and people were fighting. And there was like, it just felt, the world felt like it'd been knocked off kilter, and I felt really off kilter.
The treatments left Hoppus physically devastated, with the musician losing his hair and dropping significant weight as the chemotherapy ravaged both the cancer cells and his healthy tissue. During this period, he revealed that there were days when he could barely get out of bed, with even the simplest tasks becoming monumental challenges. "There were moments when I thought I wouldn't make it to see another Blink-182 show, let alone perform in one," Hoppus admitted.
A therapist for the first time, and as I'm walking in, my phone rings, and I'm like, "Oh, hang on, this is from a healthcare." And so I answer it, and it's my oncologist who had just done all the tests. "You have cancer. It's going to be chemotherapy. Cancel the next 6 months of your life. We're gonna beat this, but yeah, you have."
What few people knew at the time was that beyond the physical toll, Hoppus was fighting an equally difficult battle with his mental health. The bassist disclosed that he experienced profound depression during his treatment, with thoughts so dark that he questioned whether he had the strength to continue fighting. When you're facing your own mortality like that, everything you thought you knew about yourself gets called into question, he shared. "There were nights I laid awake wondering if I'd see another morning." The darkest moment came during a particularly aggressive round of treatment when his body's response to the chemotherapy was so severe that doctors considered pausing the therapy, a potentially life-threatening decision given the aggressive nature of his cancer. I remember sitting in that hospital room, looking out the window and thinking this might be it, Hoppus recalled. I was trying to come to terms with the idea that I might not get to see my son grow up or grow old with my wife. Throughout this ordeal, Hoppus found strength in his family. His wife, Sky Everly, whom he met during a Blink-182 video shoot for All the Small Things and married in 2000, remained by his side, offering support even as uncertainty loomed. His son, Jack, also became a pillar of strength, with Hoppus crediting their relationship for giving him the determination to fight when his own resolve faltered.
Occasionally wearing clothes, Blink's 182's Mark Hoppus became a fan favorite for putting genuine emotions into his buoyant songs. Now in his candid memoir, Mark has deep feelings to share, like about the time he thought a lifetime of good fortune had come to an end.
We played our own instruments, we wrote our own songs, for better or worse. We were just ourselves.
And that's about the time she walked away.
Fellow bandmates Travis Barker and Tom DeLonge, despite their complicated history, also rallied around Hoppus during his treatment. DeLonge, who had rejoined the band after years of separation, publicly expressed support for his longtime friend and musical partner. The way Tom and Travis showed up for me during that time healed more than just the cancer, Hoppus revealed, suggesting that his illness had helped repair some of the rifts that had previously divided the band. On September 29, 2021, after months of uncertainty and aggressive treatment, Hoppus was finally able to share the news fans had been praying for. He was cancer-free. The announcement came with a mixture of relief, gratitude, and lingering trauma from the experience. Just hearing the words cancer-free from my doctor, I can't even describe that moment, Hoppus said. It was like being given a second chance at life.
That like I couldn't carry oxygen, so I would walk up the stairs from my studio here and be completely out of breath. Oh, I feel incredibly lucky to be alive. I feel like of all the cancers to get, I got one that's...
The bassist's return to performing with Blink-182 took on new meaning following his recovery. Songs that had once been about teenage angst and relationship troubles were now performed by a man who had stared death in the face and survived. Every show feels like a gift now, Hoppus explained. I don't take a single moment on stage for granted anymore. Looking back on his battle with cancer, Mark Hoppus has gained a deeper perspective on his punk rock journey. Once a self-taught musician with plans to become an English teacher, his path changed with Blink-182's rise. Now, he sees things differently. When you almost lose everything, you realize what matters. It's not the fame or awards, it's the people you love and the connections you make. Despite the trauma of his cancer battle, Hoppus has emerged with a newfound perspective that has influenced both his personal outlook and his music. Blink-182's recent work has taken on deeper themes, with Hoppus bringing his experience with mortality into his songwriting in ways that have resonated powerfully with fans who have followed the band since their toilet humor days in the 90s. For a musician whose career has spanned decades, from forming Blink-182 in 1992 after meeting Tom DeLonge through his sister's boyfriend, to side projects like Plus 44 and Simple Creatures to producing for bands like Newfound Glory and Motion City Soundtrack, facing cancer became the unexpected chapter that redefined everything that came before and after. I've been through divorce in my family, I've been through band breakups, I've dealt with fame and business failures and all kinds of challenges, Hoppus reflected. But nothing, absolutely nothing, compares to hearing a doctor tell you that you might die. That changes you forever, in ways I'm still trying to understand. Now back on tour with the reunited classic Blink-182 lineup, Hoppus appears healthier and more energized than ever. Though the psychological scars of his cancer battle remain, he's become more outspoken about the importance of regular medical checkups and has used his platform to raise awareness about cancer detection and treatment. Mark Hoppus's journey through cancer and back to the stage is a powerful reminder of resilience. It adds new depth to Blink-182's legacy, highlighting not just their music, but their humanity. His story echoes the strength shown by other artists who faced life-threatening battles.
As a middle-aged womanizer whose life is in neutral, he is sent an anonymous letter informing him he has a 19-year-old son.
Legendary actor and comedian Bill Murray has just opened up about one of his biggest regrets in his storied career, turning down a chance to work with Hollywood icon Clint Eastwood in the 1980s. In a candid interview on The Howard Stern Show, the 74-year-old Ghostbusters star delivered a powerful message of remorse that reveals a rare glimpse into the road not taken for one of America's most beloved actors. When I see him, I'm like, I'm sorry, I wish I'd done that, Clint. I'm really sorry. Murray confessed during the emotional interview. This apology relates to a decision made over 40 years ago when Murray, after the success of Stripes in 1981, got a surprising call from Eastwood with an offer to work together on a Navy-themed project.
And I said, well, God, I guess maybe I shouldn't. But it's one of the few regrets I have is that I didn't do it because it was a big scale thing. And I would have gotten I don't know if I'd have gotten a great Destiny. It was more of a comedy, that one. But he had access to like the last of all these World War II boats, and he could have like made a flotilla and stuff. And there was some cool stuff in it. And when I see him, I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't know what, I wish I'd done that, Glenn. I'm really sorry. You know, he's certainly well over it.
The original connection between the two cinema legends began when Murray, impressed by Eastwood's films like Thunderbolt and Lightfoot, made a bold move that many actors would never dare attempt.
A long time ago, I was watching the Clint Eastwood movies of the day, like Thunderbolt and Lightfoot or whatever the hell the movies he was making then. I was just a sort of up-and-coming guy, and I went, man, his sidekick gets killed, and he avenges. But the sidekick gets like a great part, a great death scene. I was like, I got to call this guy. So I called him out of the blue.
What followed was an unexpected opportunity that Murray ultimately declined, a decision he now counts among his few career regrets. When Eastwood asked if Murray would consider doing another service comedy, the SNL alum hesitated, concerned about being typecast after his success in Stripes.
Geez, when I become like Abbott and Costello, I had to do like military movies. And I said, well, God, I guess maybe I shouldn't.
Revealing the thought process that led to his fateful decision. The film in question is widely believed to be Heartbreak Ridge, the 1986 war drama that Eastwood both directed and starred in, playing the gruff Marine gunnery Sergeant Tom Highway. While the movie still went on to become a success without Murray, the Groundhog Day star now recognizes what a spectacular missed opportunity it represented.
1, 2, 2.5.
It's one of the few regrets I have is that I didn't do it because it was a big scale thing. And I would have gotten I don't know if I'd have gotten a great Destiny. It was more of a comedy, that one. But he had access to like the last of all these World War II boats, and he could have like made a flotilla and stuff. And there was some cool stuff in it.
Murray's confession is poignant because it comes from an actor whose career has been defined by an unorthodox approach to Hollywood. Known for not having an agent or manager and famously difficult to reach, he maintains only a personal voicemail box that he checks infrequently. Murray has built a reputation for being selective about his roles. This approach has led to both triumphs and missed opportunities. He's previously turned down parts in films like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Monsters, Inc., and Little Miss Sunshine comes when both men are established legends. Murray has gone from an SNL comedian to a praised dramatic actor in films like Lost in Translation and Broken Flowers, while Eastwood, now 94, recently released his 40th film, Juror Number 2. Their nearly collaboration is a fascinating what-if in Hollywood history. Two artists with very different styles almost joining forces at the peak of their careers. Despite Murray's regret, he notes that Eastwood has long since moved past any disappointment over the missed opportunity. He's certainly well over it. He's a very resilient fella, Murray noted, acknowledging the director's legendary toughness and longevity in the industry. This comment underscores the respect Murray clearly holds for Eastwood, making his public apology all the more meaningful. The interview also revealed another interesting piece of Hollywood history when Stern pointed out that Stripes, the very film that inadvertently led to Murray turning down Eastwood, was originally written for comedy duo Cheech and Chong. They could have had fun with it. There were lots of stoner scenes in it, Murray acknowledged. Instead, with Ivan Reitman directing and Murray starring alongside John Candy, the film became the fifth highest grossing release of 1981, further cementing Murray's status as a comedy superstar. Murray's candid admission offers a fascinating look at the behind-the-scenes decisions that shape Hollywood careers and the genuine emotional weight that can accompany professional choices decades later. For a man who has built a career on his seemingly carefree, detached persona, this moment of vulnerability and regret provides a compelling contrast to his public image. The revelation also highlights the complex nature of career choices in Hollywood, where actors must constantly balance concerns about typecasting against potentially transformative opportunities. Murray's fear of becoming known solely for service comedies following Stripes ultimately cost him a chance to work with one of cinema's most celebrated directors. A reminder that even the most successful actors sometimes make decisions they later question.